Hello, my name is Melissa, and today I'm going to try to make a pop-up card. Someone specifically requested a get well soon card, and this person seems to really like fish, which is why I chose to do a little sick fish in his little tin can bed. This is the extent of my planning. I have a sick sardine, and on the inside is a swirly sardine group with possibly a pocket to write a note in. I'm trying out some technology using scrap papers from the bin. Technology is from Mitosu Crafts, which I think is actually just like a pre-made die kit actually, but the video is very helpful. But first I'm just going to make the art for the front and sort of put off trying to figure out how to make the inside, because if nothing else I can just make a plain card that doesn't do anything. Today I'm using a combination of watercolor paints. I typically would buy Core watercolor, but I do have some Winsor Newton in there and some kind of M. Graham as well. And it looks like I'm using my silver black velvet paintbrush, which is my favorite, although I do switch to just like a cheap dollar store paintbrush for like tiny lines later. And this fish painting is going to be added to my growing list of coincidences. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but at a Christmas craft fair, I was chatting with someone who was buying a calendar, I think, and she was telling me about how the images I use just happened to hold a very specific, relevant meaning to her. And then I went on to tell her about, well, I've been having these coincidences all year, where I made a painting of a white rabbit for a family member without actually realizing that a white rabbit was very meaningful to her in the moment. And then later when I did the zine about this bird finding an acorn and raising it as a tree, and at the end of the zine, only because I was following a list of prompts, that tree gets cut down, and not literally 3 days later, someone comes and chops down my tree, and I was pretty inconsolable for a couple of days. And I'm sure that there are others that I haven't even thought about. And today we have a new one. As soon as I finish painting this poor little sick fish, my sibling tells me that their literal fish in real life was sick. It's very sad. I don't want anyone's fish to be sick, but it is very funny. This idea that everything I paint is been coming true, leading to intense illusions of grandeur, and to be honest, I could use some illusions of grandeur. I guess I should only paint nice things from now on, just in case. And if we could kind of guide some of that cosmic power towards something that's a little bit more useful or beneficial, that'd be great. So for the pop-up card mechanics, I am not a paper engineer. I am borrowing very heavily from a couple of pop-up tutorials. One is Maison Zizou, and the other one is Mitosu Crafts. So if you want to learn how to do this and it's not clear from my video, please go visit those two videos. I believe they are using die-cut products from Stampin' Up, but Maison Zizou was very kind enough to create some diagrams for us. Unfortunately, my card is a lot smaller than theirs, and so I have reduced my measurements by about a third. So 12 centimeters becomes 8 centimeters, 6 centimeters becomes 4, and so on. And like I mentioned before, I wanted to have more sardines swimming, as if they're, sick fish's friends that are waiting for him to be finished and come out to play. I might be giving myself a difficult time because I have to cut these out eventually, so maybe I should make it a little bit easier. And so paying attention to the direction that these circles are going to spin, I've drawn them out to swim in different directions so that when the card opens, they turn in opposite directions. And in the middle, there's going to be a green lily pad with a message on the top, and that's going to not just hide the mechanics, but also add to the effect. Guys, I struggled a lot trying to put this together. I need to attach this to each of the little arms. Not only do these circles have to fit inside the card based on arbitrarily chosen measurements, I need to have the fins and fish all tucked in when the card is closed. But I also want them to be in a specific position when it's open and try to guess where it is. There's a lot of trial and error, but that's the fun part. The challenge is the fun part in trying to figure this out. I'm so excited. This is the best card I've made yet. And shout out to the guy who requested it because he absolutely loved it, and everyone else who saw it absolutely loved it. So I'm very excited. And I normally don't post stuff like this in my Etsy shop because it's just printed from my regular home printer, so it's not like waterproof or anything. But everyone seems to love the zines so far and the postcards, so I'm just gonna put a few of these up on the Etsy shop as well because it's pretty cool. And yes, watch the other tutorials. Try to make something cool out of it yourself. It's a pain. It's hard, but it's totally worth it. I felt so accomplished after this one. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye!